Hey, Ross Robertson, Big Water Fishing. You know, summertime walleyes are actually becoming some of my favorite because we generally have less wind. I think you guys all can relate to nasty weather, spring and the fall. And those walleyes don't grow legs, you can still go out and get them. I'm gonna give you a little sampling of baits that I go to when the dog days of summer kick in, but hot fishing is still going on. And number one by far is the Deep Junior Thunderstick. Anywhere in the Great Lakes and even inland bodies of waters, reservoirs, the Deep Junior Thunderstick perfectly kind of mimics those small shiners, smelt, things like that. I just tend to get a lot more bites on this bait. I use it on anything from wire line, lead core lines, snap weighting, just on mono on boards. A lot of different ways you can do this. Braided line, of course. Then sometimes we like to upsize a little bit. Sometimes it's a forage thing. Sometimes we're trying to keep the junk fish off, or we're being really picky. When you live on the Great Lakes, we've got really good fishing now, so you can be a little more picky. And so those bigger baits are definitely gonna cut down, generally speaking, on the number of bites you get, but generally gonna have a lot more picture takers in the mix. So the full size one there is a go-to. And then we've got, the shallow version. So maybe, a lot of times what happens for me is I'm catching them really good on the boards, on the Deep Junior Thundersticks, on a variety of different diving presentations, but I want to put these closer to the boat on a dipsy diver, or maybe even on a board on something like a jet diver where I need a shallow diver. The junior shallow is absolutely a go-to. And the same thing, sometimes I'll put the larger size stick bait, the regular full size Thunderstick, on a dipsy diver, something like that. But definitely the go-to is the junior size. And kind of along with that, when you start catching them, you like to kind of tweak things. When I'm catching fish, that's when I want to experiment a little bit. Maybe just with 1 or 2 rods, something like that. And that's where the tail dancers are a definitely overlooked bait. When you're catching them on Deep Junior Thundersticks, look at some of the smaller sizes of the tail dancers. It's a little different action. It's a little fatter bait. Sometimes it doesn't work, but a lot of times you can sneak out better bites, I'd say every couple days or so, by just switching it up a little bit. And then kind of my sneakers, I love jointed baits. Just absolutely, in the summertime, warm water, jointed baits are absolutely amazing. But sometimes you gotta go smaller. Some of the larger sizes don't work as well for me personally, but this is a J7 Rapala. Definitely one of my go-to on dipsy divers, jet divers, all kinds of things like that where you need a shallow presentation crankbait. When you're using spoons and you're catching a bunch of junk or maybe undersized fish, look at something like this J7. Now, sometimes you get bigger forage, you could upsize to a J9. When that happens, my favorite bait by far is the Rapala Scatter. That is an absolute, the Scatter Wrap is a go-to deal. And then even on a larger size, they have a full-size Thunderstick jointed as well. But smaller is often better in the summertime. So remember that the next time you're out and sample around. When you're catching them, that's the time to experiment.